So tell me, what did you do today?
Today, I went to my shoe job this morning,
Mhm.
and then after my shoe job, I went to the gym, and then from the gym, I came home. I got some chicken, some fried beans, and
Mhm.
some rice, and then I ate it, and then I took a quick shower before the podcast because I didn't want to be smelly. But then I realized, why the fuck am I gonna be smelly if
I
it's
can't
through the
smell
fucking
you.
camera? Exactly. So I don't know why the fuck I shower. I
Well,
should have
thank you
waited a
for
little bit
showering.
later. So I should have waited a little bit later to shower. But yeah, so I shower and then I did my protein shake
Nice.
and then I called you.
And here we are.
Boom. Yeah. So that's what I did for the past
What time is it?
I've been awake since 6 in the morning, so 13 hours, is it? Yeah.
Dang, 13, 14 hours. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
what,
13,
9,
14 hours.
almost 10 p.m.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, damn. Yeah, so yeah, that's how I did for 13 hours.
Dang.
So it's hard to balance shit, dog. Oh, oh, roll the intro. Welcome to Shutter Slam with your two hosts, Arlen and Martin, the unicorn.
The unicorn.
Oh yeah, because I saw the YouTube one, so like, can you put unicorn right next to the Martin?
Oh, I should put Martin, the unicorn, right?
Yes, yeah, Martin
All
the
right.
unicorn. If you want to put like quotation marks on there,
The
that'll
the
be cool.
unicorn.
Yeah, so like right now it's like Martin the unicorn with quotation marks.
All right, I got you. I got you. We'll do it in post.
Oh hell yeah!
All right, so today let's talk about um I guess what it's like to balance the our everyday lives with wrestling shows, because we don't do it full time. We both have shoot jobs. We both have lives outside of wrestling. So let's
Yeah,
talk about how we just balance everything.
yeah. That's an interesting topic to be honest. It's like it's just thinking about it. It's like how much thing we have to balance in our entire lives.
Yeah, because
It's like right now you just said right now, wrestling,
hmm
personal, shoe job. Because unfortunately wrestling doesn't pay the bills.
yeah, that's right.
Bread doesn't full, and it's crazy because a lot of people tell me, "Oh, is wrestling your full time job?" Hey, oh hell no, dog. It's like I'm sorry, but like I wish that like wrestling was my full time position. Like I would have loved it, but
Uh-huh.
unfortunately, it doesn't pay fully all my bills. So I have to have a shoe job.
Yeah,
So
and you just mentioned just three things right there, and then if you want to add extra stuff on top of it, like you have relationships, you want
oh
to go
yeah,
to the gym, we both work out, so it's like you gotta
yeah,
put in time for
dude.
all of that.
Exactly, yeah, and then like one of us have a relationship, and the other one's still looking for a baddie.
Still looking for
So
that go out, would you say that
gothic
goth baddie?
baddies, Latin baddies, and all the baddies. Oh, and the single moms too. So so whichever falls, it's like I don't judge. It's like I just want to be loved.
The unicorn needs love.
We just I need a lot of fucking love and shit.
And I mean, you mentioned all of everything that you did today in 14 hours. And today, have you even touched any wrestling? I mean, like, I know you posted today, right?
Yeah, yeah. So I actually did. So between the 14 hours, I take like some time to post videos, like
Hmm.
edited some small clips also. And then I edited some pictures for Warrior and I edited some clips for Warrior and then from Frontline Pro also.
Yeah.
So like between those times, I have to balance editing also. So that's another thing that I forgot to mention. It was editing.
Yeah.
It's like I have to do all of that. And then like before I go to sleep, like honestly, tonight I'm just gonna go to sleep.
Hmm.
It's like once we're done with the podcast, I'm just gonna go wash my teeth, you know, with my big ass
Where's your big ass
pot.
toothbrush?
Yeah, the biggest toothbrush, a toothbrush. No, a toothpaste
Toothpaste?
and my toothbrush. So I have to watch my TV, and then go to bed, you know? So and then wake up tomorrow and then do the same shit all over again. You
Yeah.
know, so it's been a challenge, you know, it's like and then adding the gym now
Mhm.
have been like I've been going to the gym for the past 7 months.
Okay.
You know, so constantly I go to. Unfortunately, sometimes I can't because when I'm traveling, you know, or when I have a show, or when I have to work late, you know, it's like at my shoe job also. So
Yeah.
or when it's super cold outside, I can't walk to the fucking gym because it's fucking cold as hell.
Like right now.
Yeah, dude. So apparently on Friday it's gonna be
It's like
negative something.
yeah, there's like a huge ice storm coming.
Yeah, and that's why my shows got canceled on
Oh,
Friday, unfortunately.
man.
So, but and then even balancing that, because
Yeah,
on
exactly.
Friday I had to balance going to work and then catching my flight at night, right? And then going to my show flying Friday because I was supposed to fly Friday
Yeah.
night, and then get there at night in Laredo, and then I had no get to Dallas, and then Laredo, and
Okay.
then I had to go back to the hotel, sleep, wake up in the morning, because calling time is usually around 9 in the morning, usually,
Jeez,
and
okay.
then do my show right the whole day until midnight because they technically need us to be because Mass Mania is basically run like WWE, like
Okay.
WWE style, you know? So then we had to wait until like midnight to for the show to be over with, and then travel to from Laredo to San Antonio, and then San Antonio come back on Monday morning. So that
Jeez.
was my whole like plan to do, but unfortunately when I do it, but then we're gonna go talking about balancing, you know.
Yeah.
So that's even having more to my plate is when I travel, you know. So that's even adding more, and it's hard balancing, you know.
Yeah.
It's like balancing everything, you know. It's like how you travel, and then like when you're editing, you know, recovering,
Mhm.
you know. It's like and then late at night when after a show,
Yeah.
you know, it's like didn't you do freelance like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago?
Yeah, I did it 2 weeks ago, but what you're like your whole story about traveling just reminds me of like when I was touring, like when we're playing a show. There are times where I would get hired as a videographer for another band that I was on tour with. So after my band would play, I would have to go film like the other band and have to like make a recap video for them. Like it's like the same thing for wrestling. You make recap videos for every day in every city and state that you're in, right?
Yeah.
So literally like almost every night play, go film the next band, and then I would have to like literally edit that night, whether it's like at the venue right after or while we're driving to the next state, and then have that ready to go and post it by the next morning. And I would have to do that every single day. So like how you're talking about just like going back and forth with all these like call times, going from like Laredo to San Antonio, I'm like that just like brings back so many memories, and I'm kind of glad that I don't do it anymore because I was very bad at it. And I'm not gonna lie, I like got so burnt out from doing it. Like I feel like I wasn't producing the best work because I was so rushed, and like you're stuck on a deadline. Like it's got to be
Mhm.
done in like 5 6 hours every night. So I feel like I wasn't putting the best work out, and I didn't want that to translate to wrestling. You know, I want to put out the best work that I can. So when it comes to like shows, I'm kind of more, I wouldn't want to say picky or choosy, but um, I don't take on as many shows because one, I can't balance that like with shoot job, relationship, and working out, going to the gym, stuff like that. Like you always got to have time for yourself too. So, but yeah, I did do freelance 2 weeks ago. I think that was the last show that I did.
Yeah, because I remember when you told me that like you slept until like late at night, and then you had to wake up for your shoe job in the morning,
Yes.
right? Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember
So
you told me that.
yeah.
You
So
know, so
I was at the show until like 11:30, and my shoot job is I work at a hospital, and the next day I had to be at work by like 8 9 a.m. And it's just part of the grind when you're trying to balance all this stuff, and you gotta find time to edit it and, like, put it out.
Dude, and then, like, this kinda reminds me, um, in April, actually, last
Mhm.
April, I had a show in Tennessee,
Uh-huh.
and then I told the promoter, if he can fly me Monday morning before work.
Oh,
So, like, yeah, he got me the earliest flight possible, so I
uh-huh.
got to here, I got here to Chicago at 6 something, right,
Okay.
from O'Hare, and then I grabbed an Uber to my shoe job, and it was about an hour away from there, dude. Dude,
Mhm.
I barely made it to my shoe job.
Oh
I
my gosh.
barely made it, dude, and I was fucking exhausted as hell. I was
Mhm.
tired, I was cranky because 'cause I'm like, "Dude, I just traveled all the way from Tennessee," but then I still had to do my shoe job, it's
Yeah.
like I had to be in the great mood, I had to be positive and stuff, so, like, I've had those times where I have to fly in on the same day at my shoe job, you
Yeah.
know, and I had to make sure that I'm in the best in the best mood possible
Mhm.
because it's like, I can't show them, "Oh," it's like, "Oh, last night I was partying last night," or "I was traveling last night." It's like, no,
Yeah.
I have to be in a positive thing. So
Ca
it's hard, it's like it's hard being able to go from wrestling to your shoe job right in the fucking morning. So I totally understand you
uh-huh.
100% because that happened to me before that I have to fly in on the first flight coming
Yeah.
back to Chicago and go straight to work.
Can we ask what your shoe job is, or do you wanna
Oh,
keep that under wraps?
no, no, I work in a high school.
Okay.
So I work in a high school with high schoolers. Yeah, I just work with students with learning disabilities.
Mhm.
So yeah, like it's like I don't keep it private at all. It's like because like it's something that I have been working the past 13 years. It's with students with learning disabilities, anger management,
Wow.
and like stuff like that. So like it takes a lot patience, it takes a lot of caring, and
Mhm.
that's the reason why a lot of people tell me, they're like, "Dude, you're such a caring person." Yes, I am, and that's the reason why I can do wrestling and I can do this job.
Yeah.
Because you have to be very patient with both wrestling and working at a high school,
Oh,
with teenagers. So mostly I work with, but now I work with the what do you call those, the underclassmates? So like freshmen and sophomores.
okay, gotcha.
So I work with them. So the younger age, it's a little bit tougher because they're in the age of like they're not kids anymore, but they're just turning teenagers barely
Mhm.
and shit. So it's like it's hard to like understand them, but like I take my time, it's like, "Hey, it's okay," it's like, I have to calm them down whenever they have, like, an episode or a moment, it's
Yeah.
like I'm there to relax them, calm them down, while I'm calming myself down because it's
Mhm.
like, it get very stimulating, very overstimulating, and no, it's like, it's something that I really love also, it's like and I wouldn't be doing this if I didn't love it because it's like you need to have patience and love to make sure that like you're doing what you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah. Well, good on
So
you for having that job, like, and now that, like, you mentioned it, like, I do see those qualities in you. I know you're a very, 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 very patient person, and so I feel like that job is, like, perfectly suitable for you, you know?
yeah, exactly. And that's the reason why it's like a lot of people are surprised or aren't surprised when I tell them what I do for a shoe job. It's like they're
Mhm.
like, "Oh, you work in high school?" I'm like, "Yeah," and they're like, "Oh, wow!" Like I see it. So yeah, it's like it takes time and patience to just make sure. It's like, and that's the reason why it's like I think you do need a balance with wrestling and a shoe job.
Yeah.
Because I was doing wrestling. Last year I was doing all wrestling for about 6 months
Okay.
because unfortunately, like I quit my shoe job, like my original shoe job, I quit it, and because I was getting very overwhelmed, and I quit that job, and then I started doing wrestling for 6 months,
Mhm.
and unfortunately, it didn't. Wrestling doesn't pay. Like I said in the morning, you do it
Yeah.
more for love for the sport and love for this than anything. To be honest with you, it's like when I started the business. it was more about the love for it rather than the money because when you start, they don't want to pay you. You know,
Yeah.
it's like, and they don't see the value of you in the beginning, right? They don't see the value of you. They're like, oh, you're just a regular person. You know, you're just a camera guy, right? But then once you start building your name, you start building who you are. They're like, oh, damn, okay, like I'll bring you in. You know, it's like I'll pay you what you deserve to get paid. You know, and that's why going back to you picking and choosing what bookings you get, right?
Yeah.
And then yeah, it's just picking and choosing what bookings you get. Like you can't get all the bookings,
Yeah.
you know. It's
That's
like
true.
because you will get burnt out. You
Yeah.
know, it's like it will feel heavy on editing stuff, you know, and stuff like that. But then before that, it's like thinking about what important events in your life you're gonna be missing,
Yeah.
right? Feeling guilty of missing stuff. You know, it's like what you'll be feeling. You know, it's like when you're missing. Like, dude, I'm gonna be honest with you. In the past 10 years, I missed a shitload of events. You know, I miss weddings, I miss funerals,
Mhm.
I miss baby showers, I miss anything you can think of. I missed it. Why? Because I chose wrestling over that.
Yeah.
You know, but it's because when you love something, I'm gonna be honest with you. You know, and I'm glad we're talking about this topic because when you love something so fucking much,
Mhm.
you're willing to do anything for it. You know, and for me being hungry for success goes over anything else,
Yeah.
you know? And unfortunately, yes, I feel guilty missing stuff. Don't get me wrong, you know, because I'm a human being also, you know? But the end of the day, I don't regret it,
Mhm.
you know? Because I know that this is what I choose to be, and I know this will be for the long run. It's not for the short time, you know, because I want this shit to be forever, you know? But unfortunately, sometimes you have to say no to shows,
Yeah. Yeah,
you
no,
know?
I agree. And,
And go ahead.
I think I feel like now I'm a little bit more wiser about, picking and choosing my bookings because I've been in the same situations, not with wrestling, but with, tours back then. So when I was, like, fully invested in music, I was dead set on, like, I wanna make a living playing music, I want to travel the world, blah, blah, blah. So my mindset was like, okay, I have to take this tour to get to the next stage. I have to take this tour no matter what. You can't turn down anything. And so like you said, like you miss important events. Like I missed many birthdays, missed many major my family went to the Philippines for the first time. Like all my family, and I've never been, and that was my one chance to go, but I decided to turn it down to do a tour because I thought that it was going to be beneficial for what I wanted to do. But at the end of the day, like I learned that like it didn't take me to where I wanted to be. And instead I regretted some of my decisions. Not all of them, but some of them I had regrets for. So I guess that's why now when it comes to like wrestling bookings and shows, I'm a little bit more um, cautious about taking bookings. I really need to think about like is do I have the time for this? And most of the time I don't. I have to like really sit back and be like, do I have the time to actually do this? Because in my head, I think that like, yeah, I have so much, but I really don't. So I guess that's my reasoning for trying to be cautious now. Like before, when I first started doing it, I was like, oh, I need to do this promotion, this promotion, this promotion. But as I started doing it more, I realized that like I don't have to take them all. And with what you said with the burnout, it caused some burnout. And with that burnout, it made my work not as great as I wanted it to be, you know?
No, yeah, dude. And honestly, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't regret none of my decisions.
Mhm.
You know, it's like I'm gonna pull the curtain a little bit. Oh,
Yeah,
I'm gonna pull the curtain.
pull it
This
back.
past pull it back. So this past summer,
Mhm,
it's like this past summer, it's like I had a decision between doing the tour in Vegas
mhm.
or staying in Chicago and doing something else.
Yeah,
Right. And my mindset was if I go to the West Coast, I'm gonna be able to get more bookings, right?
yeah.
And I'll be able to grow more.
Mhm,
I stay here. I was just gonna do some I was personally was just gonna do some local shows, a couple, and be in the same area, same spot, right? But honestly, that Vegas trip, and I always talk about it, it saved my life legit
mhm.
because I was going to a self-destruction. A lot of people don't know that I was going to self-destruction. I was becoming somebody I didn't like. I was becoming somebody that honestly I didn't like myself in the mirror. But then I went to Vegas, and I had two amazing people, and I'm gonna mention them, Bobby and his wife Brittany.
Mhm.
They both took me into their house. They both let me in to their apartment. I slept in their couch, and we traveled to California for shows. And they were able to help me out get some bookings. And and then even more, Brittany she told her mom and her dad, like, if I can sleep in their couch also in their house,
Yeah,
and I slept in their couch, I slept in everybody, like, in my friend's Bobby's, in her parents' house, in other friends' house for a whole fucking month because I wanted to fucking become a better fucking person, you know? Because of Bobby and Brittany, dude, I went through a life journey of weight journey. It's like I'm losing weight. I'm getting to the best shape of my life. You know why? Because I took that chance.
yeah.
You know, and like I don't regret it at all. I don't regret it. Unfortunately, that cost different shit to happen in my personal life,
Mhm.
right? Because I chose that. Unfortunately, whatever happened was going on here. Unfortunately, that got fucked up because of that, you know. But I don't regret it, and am thankful for what happened in Vegas, and they made me a better person. And then now I'm able to continue doing this shit as long as possible. And yes, life has regrets, but that's one of my regrets I don't regret.
Yeah,
There's a shitload of things, a shitload of things in my life that I regret, but
yeah,
wrestling has never, ever, ever caused me to regret anything. Because it made me a better person. It's making me be able to live my dream. Even though it's not my full time position, but every weekend, I'm traveling all over the country. I'm doing something I love. You
yeah.
know, and like, I will never regret that. Fortunately, this weekend, I was gonna miss my dad's birthday because I was gonna travel to Texas. But now I'm gonna spend my dad's birthday this weekend, you know? But originally I wasn't because my mom told me. She's like, "No, this is your dream, and we support you in your dream.
Mhm.
We support you on whatever you need to do to grow yourself, because you have sacrificed so much in this business already that we want you to fucking go. We want you to fly. We want you to travel. So I did it, but fortunately, my show's canceled. So now I'm thankful I'll be able to spend like my dad's birthday this weekend. You know, but I would have loved to be able to experience that experience also. Wrestling experience.
Yeah,
It's like I was gonna be able to celebrate my dad's birthday on Monday. Or celebrating my dad's birthday tomorrow. It's like balancing. That's going back to it. It's like sacrifices is
yeah,
very fucking hard. But the thing is, sometimes you have to follow your heart, even though sometimes your heart doesn't fucking tell you the right decision, but do what you feel will be the right thing.
yeah,
Even though sometimes it might not be. Sometimes you might regret it, but that was what your heart told you to do. Like like you took the trip. No, you took to do the tour rather than going to the Philippines, right?
yeah,
Yes, it's like, and you totally regret it. But the thing is, at the time, you wanted to do the tour.
yeah.
Unfortunately, it didn't went your way. But the thing is, you always have to think about the positive of what happened in the tour. Even if the tour could have been the biggest shit ever, right?
Yeah,
But you did the tour.
Yeah. Well,
and that's something positive about it, you know? Unfortunately, you can't go to the Philippines, right?
that's I think the biggest takeaway from that, experience was it was just a learning lesson, you know? It
Yeah, there
kinda
you go.
taught me that I don't have to take everything
Yeah,
to that it's okay to kinda, like, step back and kinda reevaluate the choices that you have rather than thinking that it's like, okay, you gotta, one track mind to it, you know? And that's something that I still struggle with, like, every single day, especially with, like, wrestling shows, like, as much as I wanna be, like, dead set, I need to do every single indie show to get to the next level, you know? Um, but I've had to kinda, like, take a step back and just be like, "It's okay to just take some and let your work kinda show, uh, kinda kinda take you to the next level instead of just, like, being the presence at every show."
yeah, dude, yeah, and it's quality over quantity.
Exactly,
It's something that
exactly.
I learned, at a very young age, you know, it's like,
Mhm,
you don't have to do all the shows, right? Like, for me personally now, you're telling a 32-year-old Martin,
mhm.
"Hey, don't take all the bookings," right? But 25-year-old Martin will take all the fucking bookings.
Yeah,
Every fucking booking I will take. Now, I'm a little picky, right? Because Imma be honest with you, like, my knees are not the same,
mhm,
you know? Like, my back is not the same. Nothing in my body is the fucking same. You
yeah,
know? And then it's like, I can't put my body on fucking doing videos, for all the fucking shows, you
mhm,
know? No, it's like I have to pick and choose, and what show will treat me the best, and what show will pay me what I want, you know? And it's not about like, I'm not saying, "Oh, I do this for the money." No. But the thing is the money pays your bills, I do this for the passion, it's like there's shows that I do it for the homies because I want them to grow.
yeah,
I do it for them. And that's why every time every post I make, I I'm thankful to every single person who supported me because if
mhm.
it wasn't for them, I
There
wanna
there'd be
I
no
wouldn't be in a
unicorn.
position. What's up?
There would be no unicorn.
There there'll be no unicorn. And let's be honest, and that's the reason why I'm thankful to every single fucking person that
Yeah,
supports me, who been there for me for the past 10 years, that been there to me when they see me cry, they see me fucking in pain. Dude, there are people who see me when I suffer my concussions, like being in the car with me, making sure that I'm not fucking hallucinating shit. It's like those are the people that I appreciate,
yeah,
and I remember those fucking people. I remember them and I always thank them all the fucking time. It's like I thank you for always supporting me, dude, since I met you on the internet like 2, 3 years ago, right?
same, yeah. I
Dude, it's
think
like
every single day we're messaging each other.
exactly, dude. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you, dude. Like, I talk to you more than like I ever talked to my ex. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Yeah,
I text you more often than anything.
yeah,
It's like because honestly, because we're legit friends outside of this shit.
yeah,
Yes, like wrestling is my life. I'm gonna be
mhm.
honest with you, it's my fucking life. But the thing is, nowadays I'm building friendships that
Because of wrestling.
because of wrestling, and then for it to continue after wrestling.
Yeah,
Because honestly, I don't know how long I'll be able to do this shit. I don't know how long my body can do this shit no more.
mhm,
Because it's like it's just painful now. It's like it's just getting up. Like honestly, people are like, "Oh, but you're just a camera guy." Yeah, but the thing is, like, do you know how much we have to stand up?
mhm,
How much we have to be on our knees to fucking film?
mhm.
It's like, how much we have to do? Like, that shit gets to us.
Yeah,
Especially the older you get, everything fucking hurts.
ex exactly.
It's like, and that's the thing. It's like, that's why I don't know how long I'm gonna be able to do this. But then I'm trying to enjoy the ride as much as I can.
Yeah,
Trying to balance this with everything else in my life. It's like, and it's hard, but it's possible and it's doable. But sometimes, unfortunately, you have to sacrifice some of your personal things to continue with this dream.
yeah,
Because someone told me this, and I always remember this shit. They told me, you have to sacrifice shit to gain shit. you have to sacrifice your personal life for you to be successful, unfortunately.
It's no
You know?
pain, no gain.
No pain, no gain. You
Yeah.
know? There was a wrestler once that he literally told me, he was like, "Bro, I lost my wife, but then I got a contract with WWE." I'm like, "So you had to lose your wife so you could get a contract?" You know? Unfortunately, that's how it is sometimes. You
Yeah.
know, it's like right now in my life, it's like right now in my life, I'm single, but I'm able to travel all over the fucking country, everywhere I can go anywhere I want. Every weekend I'm gone. It's like I don't have to be like, oh, like I have to make sure that I'm back here for this and that. I don't have to,
Yeah.
but sometimes other people have to, and I understand of it. Like yourself, it's like you have a relationship, so
Yeah.
that's why when we ever do the podcast or anything, I always ask you, "Hey, like, what time can we work around your time?"
No. Yeah, and I appreciate that because and it kinda goes back to what you're saying about, like, having a support system, right? Like, obviously, you have to make sacrifices, and sometimes they'll kick you in the butt, but you always need your support system, like, for instance, like, my fiancée, Erica, like, my
Shout
god,
out to Erica.
for real, like, without her, like, she puts up with so much of this, and that's where I have to kinda, like, take a step back, and I have to be like, "Okay, I can't take every booking because then it takes away time from, like, Erica or, like, if we have to hang out with friends or, like, if we have to do X, Y, and Z, whatever," but, like, before I met her, like, she was not a fan of wrestling, but, like, for some shows, like, for freelance, her and a couple of our friends, they came out to the show.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. I
Yeah,
saw the
so
picture. You're so cute. You're so adorable. She took that picture.
Right.
I was like, "Oh my god, she posted about Arlen."
So she
I saw
like,
that.
she's, like, one of my biggest supporter, like, with anything that I do that's creative, whether it's, like, this podcast too, like, she follows us on Instagram,
Yeah.
like, she's literally like, I do not know what I would do without her, and, it's I understand, like, you're not in a relationship, and you know what, that's 100% okay, we both have different we're both in different places in our lives, and that's why I'm okay with that, with, like, I don't look to travel all the time because I can't take away from time with Erica, you know?
No, yeah, dude, and honestly, like, I feel you in that one because, like, when I was in a relationship, it's like I had to balance it,
Mhm.
and there was times that I would totally tell the promoter, "Hey, like, I will need to be home on Sunday at fucking, like, 5 in the morning, like, can you give me the earliest flight ever, like, possible?"
Yeah,
So I'll be here, it's like, so I can be able to be a part of her events or, like, whatever, it's like when I was having a relationship, it's like
yeah,
but now it's like I can do whatever I want, it's like I can do whatever I want, whatever shows, like, whatever time, doesn't matter, you know? And that's why, like I told you, dude, like I respect your time. I respect you because our lives are different right now.
well, I
It's like,
respect your time too.
yeah, and I thank you for that. But the thing is, like I always told you, I work around you. Because I know how it is. It's like I know how hard it is to balance all of that shit together.
Mhm.
And for me, I don't want you to ever feel like, oh, it's like I'm disappointing Martin. Hell no, dude. I'm proud of everything you're doing, dude. I'm proud of you. I'm
I
happy that
appreciate you.
you're with Erica. I am proud that she supports you because that's fucking hard to find in this
Yeah,
fucking business, dude. Somebody who fucking supports you there. It's like I have someone in my life. It's like she's considered like my best friend. It's like she's one of my best friends, and she's been a part of my life for fucking years. It's like she supports me all the fucking time. If I need somebody to express myself to, I go to her.
yeah,
It's like, and she supports my fucking crazy dreams. She supports everything I fucking do. And she's just my homie. But, but I know that like it's not a relationship, and that's why the reason why I feel like it's a little bit different because it's like I don't feel like I'm forced to be like, oh, it's like I have to give her time. I have to
yeah,
do this. No, it's like we're so we're so close to that point. They're like, hey, it's like she just my homie. It's like she'll listen to me and shit. Blah blah. But yeah, it's like, and it's hard when you're legit in a relationship, like yourself. It's hard because you're taking that time away from them. You know, and that's why it's hard to even date outside the business or inside the business. I dated outside and then I dated inside the business.
Mhm.
And both of them is a fucking mess, dog. No matter where the fuck you go, dog, it's both fucking messes.
Oh,
It doesn't matter, dude. Someone told me recently. No, dude, I'm glad we're talking about this shit.
yeah.
Recently, a girl like I was talking to, I was,
Uh-huh.
like, I mean, girls and shit, and then she texted me, and then she was like, asked me, she was like, oh, can you balance talking to me, right? And I go, what you mean, right? It's because I made a comment about, oh, like I can barely fucking balance wrestling, like I can balance fucking people.
Yeah.
So she took it offensive, as in like, oh shit, like okay, like this guy doesn't want to, but like no, I was like, I was just making a joke because I
Yeah.
was like, because it's hard balancing both. So it's like meeting people. I always had to make sure that, like I let them know who I am,
Yeah.
right? Some people already know. Inside the business, everybody knows who I am. I'm not trying to be cocky and shit. So I'm not trying to be cocky, but everybody knows who I am,
That is true.
right?
Yeah.
But then outside of wrestling, I have to explain to them like what I do. Hey, I'm a videographer, photographer, right? And then
Mhm.
at first they're like, "Oh, okay, uh, a little hobby, and
Yeah.
shit." And then once I send them my
Yes.
TikTok, they're like,
Yes.
"Oh shit, this is not a fucking hobby,
It's the
is it?"
real deal.
I was like, "This is a real deal, though." It's like,
Yeah.
and that's why it's hard meeting people also in the dating life. It's like no matter where, it's like it's hard balancing anything, relationships with family, relationship, and. So that's what, like I told you, dude. It's like I'm happy for you, and I wish you so much fucking love, so much positivity to you and Erica.
Appreciate
You
that.
know, honestly, dude, like
Mhm.
from the bottom of my fucking heart, because I know it's hard to find somebody who's fucking supportive.
Yeah.
Especially nowadays, it's fucking hard as hell. It's like I was like, bro, it's like especially now in our age dating pool. God damn
Yeah.
it, dog.
Don't
Shit, dude.
worry.
Like,
There's a
dude, like I
unicorn out
can,
there for you.
dude, yeah, dude, and it's crazy because it's like I meet people who are younger than my sister, and then I meet people who are older than my mom or close to my mom's age. It's like, dog,
Oh,
where's the balance in this, dog? It's like, and it's hard.
there's gonna be a part 2 to this, continued on Shutter Your Heart.
Yeah, Shutter Your Heart. I told you, or Shutter Slam After Dark.
After Dark. I
Yeah,
think
like those episodes in HBO.
that
You guys know which episodes I'm talking about. You guys remember that shit over here? Yeah. Oh, I don't remember.
you're
You
like,
guys
"Oh,
know
I
which
don't
episodes
know.
I'm talking about.
I don't know what that is."
Do you guys know what episodes I'm talking
I was
about?
in bed by 9 PM.
Okay, it's like, and accidentally you'll be sleeping and then turning on the TV with your other hand
And they're like, "Oh my
because the
god,
other hand
babe.
was busy. It's a joke, guys. It's a
Hey,
joke.
I don't know what you were doing, but I was praying with my other hand."
You were putting your hand like this.
Oh my god.
You were turning on like the remote like
Right.
this and shit. Yes.
Oh my gosh. That's another topic for another episode on another podcast.
That's another. I told you, dude. We're gonna have a bunch of branches of
Mhm.
podcasts in this bitch, dog.
Yeah, that's
It's like,
Shutter Slam After Dark.
yeah. Shutters After Dark. Uh,
Shutter Your Heart.
Shutter. Wait, which one?
Shutter Your Heart.
Yeah, Shutter Your Heart. Shutter Uncensored.
Uncensored, which is I kinda this one already.
Yeah, it's kind of is uncensored, but the thing
Yeah.
is, like, we have to censor ourselves because of the FCC.
Oh, yeah, because Eminem told us,
Yeah, the FCC will never be.
"Let me be me, so let me see. Try to shut me down on MTV because it feels so empty without me." Da-na-na-na-na.
Exactly. So that's what the FCC is gonna shut us down.
Yeah,
So
they're
that's what
gonna
we have to do other podcasts before this shit.
yeah, because the FCC is gonna give you a ticket, remember? They're gonna give
Yeah,
you a fine.
exactly. Yeah, they do send us fines, do they?
No, they don't.
Oh shit. Oh, okay,
At least
yeah.
I don't think so.
I'll tell our secretary to just keep an eye on that shit, and our
I guess
secretary
I guess we'll
to
find out
kind of
after this next episode.
yeah, the next episode.
If you get a letter in the mail saying, "Martin, you have angered the FCC."
You have the FCC, and you guys are being canceled. We're like, what the fuck,
Cancel.
cancel? What you mean we're getting canceled? That means no more episodes. I'm like,
Oh.
what? What you mean by no more episodes? You know, it's like this is a freelance, no, an independent podcast.
Yes, it is.
We don't have anybody fucking telling us what to do except
So,
ourselves, though.
except yeah, we are our own bosses. That's
Yeah,
a tongue
so
twister.
what? We just have to be careful before we say something
I
stupid.
know, I might say
But
something else.
but
Okay,
thing is, like, I always say something stupid, so it's nothing normal.
that's
No, it's nothing normal.
what
Okay.
what were we
Oh,
talking about? Oh,
oh,
yes,
yes.
go ahead.
Oh, systems. Oh, we were talking about
This
things to make things easier for us.
this
Oh, the journal. I mean, the planner
the planner, this is what we're
or
talking
slash
about.
journal.
Yes, this is what literally saves my life. Like, if I could show you a page, this is everything.
Oh, it's
It
fucking crazy.
literally, I have any bookings that I have in here, I write down when we're doing the podcast, write down the topics, uh, when podcasts are coming out. Like, this is how you balance your life. A little book with 500 sheets of paper.
Hell yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah, man.
that's how I do it. So
Yeah, because I barely been writing things on my phone. So I remember your birthday because I wrote it on my phone, but then my
there you
dumbass
go.
wrote 11.
I mean, you got the month, right? It's 3 days off. It's okay.
I don't know why the fuck I put the 11
It's okay.
when there
But
was
you,
a 9.
that's what I was about to say. Maybe you had a booking that day.
But then this is it's on a Tuesday and Wednesday.
Yeah, maybe I don't know. Were you shooting Dynamite or something? Were you booked for Dynamite?
No. Oh, probably was I putting on
I
man?
don't know.
Oh, I don't know.
Now you should probably double check.
You have to check that shit because
Man, Martin, we're doing an episode on balancing.
yeah, because I was like, damn, I was like, no, because I know Vegas, they're doing the AEW Vegas show.
Mhm.
Was it that? No, I don't think it was that, dog. No, I have to check what the fuck is the 11. I
Yeah, you
gotta
probably
worry
should.
now.
Yeah, you should probably
Yeah,
check.
it's good.
You
I
probably
sure
should
should return.
recheck that so you can rebalance everything.
I had to rebalance. Or or like I might just message Tony Khan and be like, "Hey, am
Did
I
you book
booked for
me?
you, dog?" He was like, "Am I booked for you tonight? Or am I booked for you on the 11?" Because I'm like, I just swear that you you messaged me that one time, dog.
Oh man. All right, so I think we're coming up almost to time. So uh what what else we got left? Or what should we you want to do takeaways or anything else you want to touch on?
Honestly, yes.
Yes to what?
Honestly, yes. I was gonna wait. I was gonna say something. Damn, dog. All right, I
No,
was
I'm
gonna
just kidding.
say no. I was gonna say yes, and then I would be like, I was gonna say something emotional and shit, but no. Oh, I'm
Oh
gonna have
shit,
to
my bad.
fucking ruin it. Okay, all
Okay,
right. Take one.
let me ask you that. Okay,
Mhm.
so I think we're coming up to time. Is there anything else we got to talk about? Is there anything else you want to say?
Mm, The only thing I want to say is just like it's it's honestly remember to take care of yourself. You know, you're
Hmm.
chasing a dream, but make sure before that you're taking it yourself and making sure that you're okay before you're chasing whatever dream you want to. You know
Yeah,
why? And always remember your mental health. That's very important before anything else. Make sure that you're okay and check yourself. You know, it's like, and don't feel like you are fully not able to talk to anybody about your feelings. And if you feel overwhelmed about stuff, because I felt overwhelmed this past weekend, unfortunately, because of uploading shit and then it wouldn't go fast enough. So I got overwhelmed for that, you know. But then I realized it's not in my control. You know, it's not my fault that shit doesn't go fast enough. You know, So then I just had to make sure that I'm okay, it's like take some breathing and shit and take time for myself. That's the most important thing, that it's okay to take a break for a bit, a couple days, and then you go back to doing whatever you want to and keep on chasing your dream. Because honestly, you will be able to accomplish anything that you put your heart into, and remember, there's people who care about you, you know, and make sure that you surround yourself with people who are your greatest support system. Myself, I have my family, I have you, Arlen, I have JC, and then I have my other friends in my personal life and then in my professional life also, So always make sure that you have a support system that's gonna be there for you whenever you need somebody, and it's okay to talk about your feelings, and always make sure that you are expressing yourself and don't let anything in, because then that's gonna fucking kill you and it's gonna keep on fucking hurting you, and then it's gonna be a cycle of fucking death. So that's why make sure that you take care of yourself first. Boom.
Beautiful. To add to that, I also
Yeah,
want
go
to
ahead.
just express the importance of taking a break. It's okay to not look at wrestling for a day or two. It's okay to not open your social media for a day or two. It's okay to just take a step back, recalibrate your life, recalibrate yourself, recalibrate your mental health, recalibrate your health. Because I know most of the time, like, I don't know about you, but I'm always like, I get anxious, I get anxiety, and I'm always just like checking my Instagram, just checking notifications, just checking who's following me, how many likes did I get, stuff, stupid stuff like that, that like
Mhm.
at the grand scheme of thing does not matter. So it's always okay. Just have that mindset that it's okay to put it away, take a break. And that's that's what I got to add to yours.
And honestly, dude, that's very true, and I 100% support you. It's like, that's why there's days where, like, I might not reply. No, like, I'm always replying back. Sorry, I'm always replying back,
Yeah.
you know, but it's because here's the thing though, I don't reply back to a lot of people, I only replied back to people in my personal life that I know they have my back
Mhm.
behind wrestling. Like, that's why I always talk to you, dude. Like, you're honestly, I consider you one of my best friends in this business.
Same, same.
Even outside this fucking business, you're considered to be one of my best friends.
Yeah.
And like, I always talk about you to other people. It's like my personal life, friends. I always talk about you. They always ask me. They're like, "Oh, it's like, how's the podcast going? Like, how are things going?" I'm like, "Dude, it's going great." It's like, and and that's why, like, I always talk to you. I always talk to JC. It's like, and to my parents, like my sister, and then everybody else in my personal life. I was like, I talk to them about it, but it's like sometimes you just need a break for yourself, and and like I told you, it's okay to be by yourself. It's okay, like you said, be away from wrestling for a
Yeah.
bit. It's okay, dude. It's like wrestling. Something I learned is wrestling will always be there.
Yeah.
No matter where the fuck you go to, wrestling is fucking there. And it's okay to take a break, because wrestling will be there for you whenever you return back, because you have to be the best version for yourself before you can be the best version for the fucking world.
Yeah. It's also funny you mentioned that because I was literally telling Erica last night, it's like, if I do anything for my birthday, I'm inviting Martin.
Aw,
So that you have literally become like one of my best friends
aw.
since, you know, and it's crazy because we just met like for the first time, like what,
In
like
November.
October, November. Yeah.
Yeah, it was that one House of Glory
Yeah.
show.
Yep.
Shout out to JC.
Yep. Well, with that,
Much love. Much love to JC, dog.
shout
because
out
because
JC.
because he wants to be a guest on the show. JC, wait your patient time, dog. You'll be a guest eventually.
Your time will come.
Your time will come, dog. Don't worry.
So, all right, well, let's do key takeaways. What do you got?
Take takeaways is balance as much as you can. Don't take every show, and thirdly, make sure that you're okay and make sure that you do what you think is the best decision for you and for the people around you.
Perfect. I got it's okay to take a break. It's okay to not take every single booking. It's okay to take a step back, think about the bookings that you're going to take, and get a planner. Get a planner. I will push this until the very last episode of this podcast. Get a planner.
And the last episode is not even anytime soon, guys. Okay,
It's
don't be
not
thinking that the
anytime
show's gonna
soon.
cancel. Yeah, we're here thinking people are thinking, oh my god, they're gonna be the last episode. This is not the last episode. We
I will
still have
push I will push this until we're dead.
yeah until we're fucking dead because this podcast is not gonna die until one of us fucking die. Even if one of us fucking die, we're gonna keep on this bitch going.
It'll be a new it'll be Shutter after death, Shutter after life.
After life, and then we're gonna have a picture of one of us on the side.
And it'll be like the Saints.
Yeah, and then with the fucking little halo
Yep.
thing.
Oh man. All right. Well, those are the takeaways. So you know what time it is. Martin, hit them
Yes.
with it.
So, thank you for listening to Shutter Slam with your hosts, Arlen and Martin the Unicorn. You can follow us on social media in all your podcast places, just as Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And also, you can follow us to watch us on video on YouTube and follow us on social media on X, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. It's everything under a Shutter Slam. And
Pod.
please leave your reviews. Oh, Shutter Slam Podcast?
Shutter Slam Pod.
Oh, Shutter Slam Pod. Pod. And please please leave us your reviews. And if you want to sponsor us on an episode, on a future episode, please message us so we can coordinate with you to be able to sponsor us in an episode.
Amazing. And do not forget to follow us on social media
Oh yeah.
at I am Sleepwalker, no vowels because we don't like vowels, and at Wrestling with Unicorns.
And all your favorite and all your favorite platforms.
And don't forget MySpace in 10
Oh,
years.
MySpace too. 10 years ago. Oh no, no, yeah, 10 years from now. So if you guys want to find me on MySpace, but thing is like I don't think MySpace is still active. Is it MySpace?
I don't think so. I think Justin Timberlake let it die.
I'm a bitch. But anyways, it's okay though. Follow us anywhere else except MySpace.
All right. Hit him with
Yeah.
it.
See you guys.
Bye.